This is March 20th. I'm in the clinic in Kansas, and this video is a real simple one. Have you ever lost weight, done real well, slipped, tripped, something happened, all the weight came back, and it won't go away? Pretty common story in my office. We're going to be talking about something called metabolic resistance. An example I use in my office is if I tricked you, and you got over it, got through it, and I tried to trick you again, the odds of you continuing to let me trick you different ways, I'm going to wear out my trust with you, and I'm going to be less and less efficient over time. The body has something with hormones that you might have heard in some of the other videos, you might not, ghrelin, leptin, and polypeptide Y, that will change how they balance, so your rate of efficiency of losing weight is not what we call steady or stagnant, it's called dynamic, where it can flux and change. That's kind of what happens when people lose weight, gain it back, and try to do the same thing even more diligent than they ever did before, and the rate of efficiency more diligently is drastically less than it was when they were kind of going about it halfway. So what happens is your body doesn't burn calories at what we call a steady rate. If you intake more calories, it kind of loosens up and burns loads of them, kind of like if you got extra money this year, you might lighten up and buy a couple things you shouldn't, or maybe you wanted to but you didn't need to. And so if your body has a far less caloric intake than it's used to, it buckles down and doesn't always do all the right processes that you would expect it to. No different than if we cut your income down, you're going to kind of crimp in and only do the things that are absolutely necessary, but all the fringe things that you were enjoying, they're gone because you can't afford it. Calorically, the body works just like you do with money. Its degree of frivolity or fun and excess and lavish, as well as its degree of conservativeness and frugality, are directly proportional to what you're giving it, whether it be calories for the body or money for you. It's an odd way to look at it, but it works identically on a biochemical way, and most people aren't good at reading all those pathways, and I'm not going to sit here and bore you and read them to you. So what happens is not only do you get the weight back, usually you pack on a few extra pounds because the body's so freaked out at whatever you did to it that it's scared you're going to do it again, and it has a little extra reserve to go through the next starvation period that you're going to throw it through, whether that be South Beach or P90X or HCG or whichever one that you're going to do. What I'll encourage, and it sounds just common sense, is a few pounds a month by habits you can tolerate, and month after month after month you'll get where you want to be, but you'll have also lived a life that you can stay wherever it is you wanted to get. Most people use some style of habit to get somewhere, and then they don't want to continue that lifestyle, and they end up in what's called metabolic resistance, and they start getting more and more frustrated. I won't bore you with the hormonal loops of leptin and ghrelin. There's a few videos on our website about weight and energy. You can watch those, they're not very long, but they'll give you the relationships about insulin and leptin and which one turns on your hunger and which one turns on your sedation factors, and why you might eat even though you're not hungry, or when you should be hungry you're not, or I should be full but I'm not, I'm ravenous. Those are those relationships that most people can't figure out, and those are the hormones responsible for it. I can't tell you the number of patients who've told me they've gone through this crazy cycle and they feel stuck, frustrated, or irritated. If that's you, I would encourage you to quit doing drastic things and watch my video called How to Lose Weight Without Exercise. While exercise is a bonus and it increases sensitivity to insulin and it helps with your leptin, it's not the number one factor as far as weight loss. It's an additional factor, but it isn't the direct control factor. There's also a video I have on our website called Which Foods Are Safe. But if you want a simple, easy, point-based system, that doesn't mean you have to go crazy, but just something easier, there's a couple of videos on our website that make your life a lot faster without doing a whole lot of math. Today's a great day. Make better choices. And one last one. The next time somebody gives you an idea or a tip that sounds really good, what I ask is you look at the person who's giving the idea and see if the idea is working. So if I were to give you financial advice but I look dead crack poor, you might not want to take my investment tips at the moment because I'm not bearing the fruit of my own advice. So when you're taking weight advice, be careful who you take it from. Make sure that they look like they know what they're doing. Make sure they live a life that's congruent, that when you look at them and you analyze them when they're not looking at it, that they've mastered this skill, because it is a skill and it is something we need to learn to do. So while that's simplistic conservative advice, I advise you to take it to heart. Make it a great day.